Welcome to the channel and welcome to 8th edition Warhammer 40k. It's Space Marines versus Astra Militarum. It is a new age of darkness. It is a new age of strife. The Great Rift has ripped the galaxy asunder, and previously loyal sons have turned traitor, and on this battle grid a rebellious, a traitorous Imperial Guard force are racing through these canyons, racing through this wreckage, down to help join traitor Chaos Space Marines on the war front. And the Space Marine chapter, known as the 13th, are going to try and stand against them, are going to try and stop these critical reinforcements from reaching the front line. And it's going to be a big fight. It's going to be a brutal fight. 3,000 points aside, and the guard have got some very big, nasty guns with them. There's 4 objectives. We're playing retrieval. 1, 2, 3 over there, 4 here. And I think it's search and destroy deployment. That's the one with table quarters. The 13th, the Space Marines, would be deployed in this quarter, where there is an objective down here. And the Traitorous Guard are going to be deployed in that section. They haven't got any objectives, but there is just one here, and here's one here for them to zip onto and get to in later game turns. There is First Blood, Slay the Warlord, Line Breaker, and each of these objectives is worth 3 points each. So nice and simple. Basically tear chunks out of each other and then race onto objectives by the end of the game. And of course there's some massive line of sight blocking terrain on the table here, there and everywhere, and craters as well. Add 1 to your armor save, give you cover when you're in them. So this terrain will play a factor during this game. We'll make strategic decisions, very strategic I want to say. Anyway, 3,000 points worth of Traitor Guard versus 3,000 points worth of loyal Astartes. Let's go and have a look at these armies. This is 3,000 points worth of Space Marines. I have a battalion detachment and a vanguard detachment. That's the one with 3 elites. That gives me 7 command points, and I'm going to be using Iron Hands Chapter Tactics today. It's essentially a 6 up feel no pain on infantry and dreadnoughts, and leading the charge with this warlord trait Iron Resolve, his brother Captain Sol Garrett, that gives him +1 wound, and a 6 up feel no pain on top of his Iron Hand 6 up feel no pain. They're 2 separate rules. He's got the Relic, which is the Burning Blade. It's basically an AP5 Relic Blade and a Storm Shield. No particular reason to give him that blade other than the fact, narrative sense, because he's carried it with him since the time of the Horus Heresy. And standing next to him is a Lieutenant and a Tech Marine, and those are my 3 HQs. So plus reroll hit rolls of 1, reroll wound rolls of 1, and they're going to be holding the castle in the back with the las cannon, razorbacks, and the predator there, predator order cannon and las cannon. There's also a missile launcher in this devastator squad, along with 3 las cannons as well. Basically wanted to bring a lot of las cannons because I knew I was going up against Astra Militarum, and there's going to be a lot of tanks, and oh boy is there a lot of tanks. So you need 3 troops. In this squad I've got a multi-melter, combi melter, yes, lots of melters because tanks. And I think they're going to pop inside the Storm Raven there with twin multi-melters as well. I did pay the points to put Hurricane Bolters on there, so for the first time, or one of the rare times on the channel that you're not going to see WYSIWYG, but there are Hurricane Bolters on the side for that extra troop killing. Didn't know if Alex was going to bring lots of conscripts with him. He didn't, thankfully. But yeah, Hurricane Bolters on there, and they're cheap. 4 points for Hurricane Bolters, 8 points for 2 sets, and it's a lot of firepower. So melters there, scouts here, and then in the Vanguard detachment, the elite detachment, you can bring 2 HQs and 3 elites. So I have Brother Chaplain Snow, Chief Librarian Sagan Mir. He'll have Fail of Time, Might of Heroes, and Smite. So that's reroll charges. Might of Heroes is the +1 strength, +1 toughness, +1 attacks. And then a unit of 10 Assault Terminators, 2 claws. A unit of 10 normal Terminators. There's a Heavy Flamer and a Cyclone Missile Launcher in there. And an Ironclad Dreadnought with a Heavy Flamer and a Melter as well, Melt Gun as well, much more melter all round. So he will allow me to re-roll hits in every assault phase. Him giving one of these units re-roll in charges, lots of combos. And I really like the fact that Garrow, Sagan Mir and Snow are fighting together for the first time in 8th edition. To be honest, when I think about it, it's very rare that all three of the chief protagonists from my narrative fight together, but they're going to be fighting together in this battle. So what could possibly go wrong, eh? Well, I'm fighting Guard, and they have some super heavy goodness. Let's go and check out the Guard list. Right, this is 3,000 points worth of Astra Militarum. It's a Spearhead detachment, which is the one with all the elites. A Vanguard detachment, the one with all the heavies. And it's got 2 super heavy auxiliary detachments. Basically, Alex put everything he wanted to bring together. And then later on he thought, oh, maybe I should have put another HQ or another troop in. Because he's only got 2 HQs and 2 units of troops. Which only gives him 5 command points, but let's face it, he's bringing along all the toys that he wants to bring, and with him he's got Yarrick and Colonel Iron Hands Draken, and both of these are beasts. So the 2 troops are, we've got plasma guns in here and auto cannons, and then straight onto the heavies. Las Cannon Heavy Support Squad, we've got a Basilisk, Manticore, Layman Russ, Executioners, lots and lots of heavies. There is a fast attack, there is a Hellhound, because they are crazy good these days. And then elites, we've got, who's this guy?
It's a Harker.
Sergeant Harker, the old model, the old model, lead model. That's an Astropath, Master of the Fleet. Who's that guy?
That's the wrong model.
Shit, that's the wrong model. Yep, that is the wrong model, and after hunting through Alex's box, we can't find the right model. So he's a stand-in for Harker. This is the guy that drops the barrages in. Who's he?
That's your Ordnance.
Ordnance guy, okay. He's dropping pie plates from the sky. And then we've got elites, Ogrins, Rattlins who can target characters. And you've got a Valkyrie and 2 super heavy tanks. This is the Shadow Sword. This is the Stormlord. They've both got 26 wounds and a toughness 8 with a 3-up save. And they can both fall back and still shoot and still charge because they have the steel Behemoth rule. Now this thing, this big gun, the Volcano Cannon, just points at stuff and deletes it. 120-inch range, strength, it's heavy D6 shots. It's a lot of shots. And it's strength 16, minus 5 AP. So basically, if it hits something, it will wound it on a 2 and does 2d6 damage. It's a Titan killer weapon. You can reroll hit roll wounds when you're firing at Titans, but it's a Titan killer weapon. Now this thing is very interesting because it has a transport capacity of 40, and 20 guys can shoot out from the firing deck at the back, which means, while Alex has got a lot of models, if you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, then you can pretty much shove most of his entire army in there. I've got 11 drops minimum without combat squad in. And if I shove some of my stuff into my transports. But if he shoves a bunch of his stuff into the Stormlord, he's pretty much guaranteed first turn because it's got so many transport capacity, so high transport capacity. Now its big gun, Volcano Mega Bolter, is great at killing Terminators, and I've got 20 Terminators. It's heavy 20 shots, strength 6, minus 2 AP and 2 damage a pop. There's heavy bolters on all of these things as well, so 6 shots, 6 shots, 6 shots of the heavy bolters. There's las cannons on all of these vehicles as well. So right now you're looking at 52 wounds at toughness 8 that I've got to chew through, and boy oh boy am I pleased I've brought melters and las cannons. But as I mentioned, this guard list is probably going to go first, unless I can steal. And stealing is bad, kids. Let's go on to deployment. Here we are after deployment, and as predicted, the Traitor Guard dropped first because there's a lot of things. I think there's 1 unit of Bullgrins in there, plus all the HQs, plus his troops, plus the heavy weapon platforms. Basically, there's a lot of stuff in the Stormlord, along with the Yarrick wannabe. I should have mentioned that the Yarrick wannabe is the warlord for this army, with Tenacious Survivor. That's the 6-up, Feel No Pain. The Master of Ordnance dropping this thing can only do it once per battle, but he also gives reroll to hit rolls of 1 for artillery. Yarrick gives anything with the Astra Militarum army type reroll hit rolls of 1, including infantry. So equivalents of the captain there that you get in the Space Marine rulebook. Rerolling hit rolls of 1, very important. And we've got the Ratlins up on the sniper nest here. Hellhound has got the standard gun. It can move 12 when its gun is 16-inch range or something. Auto hitting flamer. Very, very nasty. And Ogrins spread along the line to block any scouts that potentially I could have dropped in to try and charge with. And I've got a unit of scouts here. And then the Devastators, I decided the combat squad when it became clear that I was going to go second. Because if I put them all together and 6 out of 7 get wiped out, then I'm going to be spending command points or losing morale, and they're going to be running away and dying. And they're in the crater. And then everything else is taking advantage of this very large line of sight blocking piece of terrain here to hide from the volcano cannon from the shadow sword. But as you can see, I'm not hiding from the Stormlord. That's definitely going to reach out and touch me in turn 1. Tech Marine Lieutenant and Solgaro in that one. That one's empty. Predator. I've got the Ironclad and Tactical Squad in there. There's another unit of scouts. And all the Terminators deep striking in. So that's Chaplain Snow. That's Librarian, say, Sagan Mir. That's the 20 Terminators deep striking in. And I need to try and seize the initiative to try and go first. So 4 objectives on the table, 1 controlled by the guard already, 1 over there. Who will take this plateau? Who will win this fight of the canyons? Will it be the traitors or the loyalists? Anyway, let's try and steal the initiative. And I don't steal the initiative, so we go on to guard. Turn 1. Here we are after the guard movement phase. Flyer shooting from right to left. Looks like it's got those scouts in its sights. We'll be hitting on 5s. Heavy weapons. No way to modify that. No special rules. Guard hit on 4s. Moves with heavy weapons. Hitting on 5s. This tank moving forward and that tank moving forward. Interestingly enough, the super heavies don't have a rule which allow them to move and fire their guns at ballistic skill 4 as well. If they move, they'll be hitting on 5s with their guns. Did you move this one?
Yeah.
Move that one, so he'll be hitting on 5s. But Yarrick's here, re-rolling to hit rolls of 1. And he's in range with this one as well. The Master of the Ordnance jumped out the back before it moved. He can't use his 1 per turn, 1 per game barrage when he moves, but he will next turn. And he lets these guys re-roll hit rolls of 1. Hasn't left any gaps for any Terminators to drop in. And the Hellhound moving around that side will be able to draw a line of sight on the scouts tucked in here. So let's brace my butt cheeks together and prepare for this 3,000 points worth of guard shooting attack. Opening up the shooting phase, a bit of bad luck to begin with. The Hellhound doing nothing to the scouts, but the Plasma Executioner, the main gun on there, gets D6 shots plasma. That's what Alex rolled. And the 2 side sponsoons get D3 shots each. And that's what Alex rolled. So he's got 12 shots. 12.
Sorry, mate.
No. It's going to be glorious. Coming in at the Storm Raven. But you are hitting on 4s, right? That one didn't move. And that's really bad rolling. It makes up for your really good rolling. How much did you get? Only 4. Strength 7, toughness 7. You didn't overcharge anything. So that's 2 wounds. It's -3, so I need 6s, which I fail. So it's 2 wounds off the Storm Raven. It's got 12 left to go. Then the last cannon hit. Wounds on a 3. That's a wound. That's -3. I need a 6, or this will do D6 damage. No, so D6 more damage. 5. That stings. So it was on 12. -5 is math. 7. 7 left. Now, also firing at the Storm Raven, we've got las cannons from the Stormlord, and then the heavy bolters and the big volcano gun are firing across, and they can only see that squad, so it's putting all the other guns into that squad. They won't be there. Las cannons are here. It did move, so it's hitting on 5s, and re-rolling 1s because of Yarrick, so the las cannons zip through the air. It would have been hitting the 6s, actually, because that's flying. But yeah, heavy bolters, it's 18 shots. 5s to hit because it's heavy. Re-rolling those 1s. See if Yarrick Wannabe can order some more. No. It's only 2 hits, 3 hits. Winning on 3s. This, of course, is a -2, a -1, but a +1 because I'm in a crater, so 3 ups. With a 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. No, so 1 dies. And then there's 20 shots with the Vulcan Mega Bolter. There's another 2. 20 shots.
10, we'll do that twice.
Okay. Hit on 5s. So that's 4 hits to begin with. Oh, that's re-rolling 1s. 6 hits to begin with. Okay, right, fair enough. That's pretty good.
So that's 6.
Yes.
Same again.
Yes. Re-rolling the 1s. You didn't get any hits. There's another one. 6.
8.
7, 8. Strength 6. So this gun is a strength 6 -2 AP, 2 damage. So 3s to wound. Everything wounded. So -2 +1 to cover. So I need 4 ups. And there's only 4 guys left. Yeah.
6 ups.
6 up. Need to make 1 of these to keep them alive. No, they're all wiped out. That will be first blood. Then there's a heavy weapon squad with las cannons, 2 troops with auto cannons firing in at the Storm Raven as well, and the shots are fizzing through the air, failing to hit the Storm Raven. Then moving along, the Valkyrie only managed to kill 1 of the scouts. Iron Hands Chapter Tactics come into effect here, and now this thing, Layman Ras Executioner, targeting the 2nd combat squad of Devastators. Again, 6 on the main gun, 6 shots, 2d3 on the plasma guns on the side. 12 shots coming in again. Hitting on 5s. Oh no, actually 6 of them are hitting on 4s because the turret ignores the minus to move and hit. So 6 of them hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s because they're within range of Yarrick. So that helped you with 1 of the hits, yeah. And the other 6 is hitting on 5 os. Re-rolling 1s. You've got 2 1s there. No, so that's 5 hits. Yarrick is within 6 just there. Allows you to re-roll. Hit rolls of 1 with Astra Militarum. Strength 7, toughness 3. 4, what am I talking about? Oh. No. You know you've got command points, right?
Yeah.
So that's strength 7, toughness 4, sorry.
Oh,
doesn't wound any. These Breather Side Release. You have got a las cannon, which is hits on a 5 and wounds on a... That doesn't hit either. So shots from this Layman Ras Executioner lighting up this area of the battle grid, but those Devastators standing firm. Now the only thing the Shadow Sword can see, the only thing that he can see is these Devastators. So let's fire the big gun and let's see if he can delete them. Right, this is a heavy D6 shots, and you roll a 2. Do you want a command point it? No. And you're going to be hitting on 4s, and it's strength 16. And that's 1 hit. Strength 16 is a wound. It's -5 AP, so I don't get a save. One of them just gets annihilated. Now you've got 2 las cannons coming in. Both hit. Is a wound on 2s. 1 wound. And it's -3. I've got +1 because I'm in a crater. So that's a 5 up. No, and I just realised that these 2 guys as well that just died, they'll have a 6 up. They still get their 6 up. There's no such thing as instant death anymore. So, no. 2 die, leaving the sergeant and 2 guys with las cannons left. Heavy bolters are out of range from the Shadow Sword. Right, now he's firing Storm Eagle rockets at the Storm Raven. It will be 5s to hit, hard to hit, but it is 2d6 shots. And you get 4. Are you sure you don't want to reroll? Command points? No? Don't need command points. Okay, 5s to hit with this thing. Rerolling 1s because of the Master of Ordnance stood right next to him. And the Storm Eagle rockets rain past it as well. Oh no. I was telling him pick on the Predator or kill the remaining Devastators. I would just pick on something he can hit. Right, because the Manticore missed, now the Basilisk is going on the Devastators. You roll 2d6 for your number of shots and you pick the highest. So that's 3 shots, hitting on 4s and rerolling 1. Oh, they all hit. Strength 9, winning on 2s. Oh no, 2 1s. Command point? 2 1s coming in. It's -2, so they get a 3 up save. 3 up save.
What?
And I make it.
The 6 is good enough.
6 is good enough. So missile fire, las cannon fire, plasma fire, raining in and not doing a lot of damage this turn. Have you got anything else left, sir? I don't think you have. Yeah, looking around the battle grid, that was it for the guard. No more gun. So all of their shots, most of their shots firing wide of the 13th line here. I think I was lucky that turn. I don't think that will repeat more than one turn in a row. Anyway, let's do a leadership test on them. They pass. They did take some sniper fire from the Rattlins as well, not too many of them in range. Burst blood scored for the guard. Let's move on to Space Marines. Turn 1. Here we are after the movement phase for the 13th, and I'm being bold, I'm being brave. Or rather, Chaplain Snow has ordered that the Terminators come in here with the Sagan Mir backing him up. The Hammonators are not in the crater. No part of that unit would be in the crater if I chose to charge through there, because it would be -2 to my charge range. But these guys are all in the crater. Terminator armor, it will give a +1 to their armor save, and it will come into effect if, for example, a heavy bolter hits them at -1, putting their 2 up to a 3 up, but they're in a crater. It'll go down to a 2 up again, and every single one of them, all of the entire unit, must be placed in a terrain piece to benefit from the cover. So they're in there to support the Terminators, because the Predator stuck his head bravely around the side of the rock face here, which means that that Shadow Sword will delete him next turn, I'm sure. All 3 of the characters are out. Lieutenant Tech Marine Solgaro is out, which is a reroll to hit rolls of 1, reroll to wound rolls of 1, and I didn't move the Razor Max because look, I can see a Hellhound. The Storm Raven is crippled. It can only move 30, and it will be hitting on a less accurate hits, that's what I want to say. And there will be 10 tactical guys in there. There's an Ironclad in there still. There's a lot of bad things in there. This is not going to survive. But with the twin melters and the assault cannons and the missiles, maybe I can hurt it a bit first. There was no good position for this. If I put it there, then the other one. If I put it there, then there was no good position for it. The only way was to fly forward, to deliver as much death as I can before it gets torn out of the sky. When you're going up against 3,000 points of guard, there is no hiding. Except for maybe the scouts there that plan to stay there for the entire game and score that objective later on, maybe. Okay, let's go on to the psychic phase. So like Veil of Time on these guys, they'll be able to reroll their charge ranges as they go in there. Warp charge 6, and that passes. Excellent, there's no denying going on here. And I'm going to smite. The closest unit in range are the Ogrins. Warp charge 5, that passes, and this does D3 mortal wounds and puts a mortal wound. Okay, starting off the shooting phase, some small arms, not doing anything against the Valkyrie. And then over here, a choice, bad decisions. These guys with their slab shields, the Ogrins or Bulgrins, that gives them a 2-up save. So if I fire small arms into them, they're getting a 2-up save. But that's toughness 8, that's toughness 8. So if I fire small arms in, I'm wounding on 6s, wounding them on 5s. So some real resilience is what I want to say. Toughness 5, toughness 8, 2-up save, 3-up save. So I decided to fire all the small arms into the Lehman Russ, doing nothing. And now the 2 Cyclone missile launchers, which are heavy, are going to try and take out that Storm Lord. But this will hit on 4s because, you know, deep strike. And only 1 hit. So it is strength 8 versus toughness 8. Doesn't do anything. Let's fire the Predator at the Lehman Russ. 2 las cannons. I moved, so 4s to hit. And that's 1 hit. Strength 9, toughness 8, 3s to wound. Doesn't wound. See, I'm re-rolling wound rolls of 1.
But rolling a lot of 2s.
But I'm rolling a lot of 2s. Predator autocannon, 2d3 shots. So that's 5 shots. It is heavy, so I am hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1s, because Solgaro tells it how to shoot. So that many hits, 3 hits, strength 7, toughness 8, wounding on, and there's 2s. But 1 gets through, which is -1 to your save, but does 3 damage. And I wound it. That's 3 damage on the Lehman Russ. I think they start off with 12.
Something like
Okay, 2 las cannons here. He's the sergeant, so firing the signum and firing the normal las cannon at the Lehman Russ. Signum hits on a 2. I am going to command point. First command point, hitting on a 2, that hits. And then the normal one hits on a 3. So they both hit. Strength 9 versus toughness 8. I need 3s again. They both wound. It's a las cannon, so that's -3 to save on the Lehman Russ there, or 2d6 damage.
Doesn't have a save then, does he?
No, it starts with a 3-up save, so it becomes a 6-up.
Oh, sorry.
2 6-ups.
No.
No, so it's on 9 wounds left. Can I kill it? Can I? 8. It's got 1 left. Moving round, in case you're wondering, by the way, that's the teleport homer for the normal Terminators, the standard Terminators, in case I need to jump back here and then run up and get this objective. You get this free now in 8th edition, by the way. It'll disappear if an enemy unit comes within 6 or 9 inches of it, I forget how far, but any time during the battle, you can just teleport your Terminators from way over there, boom, and bring them back down here instead of moving. And it's right next to my objective, which is nice. Anyway, let's go and try and kill this Hellhound with the last few shots before I open up with a Storm Raven. Starting off with a back one, hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. So there's a 2 naturally. And wounding on 3s, re-rolling 1s. There's a 1, re-roll with a Lieutenant, and there's a 2. So that fails. Let's do the other one. 3s to hit. 2 2s. Alex.
That was whiffy.
that was 4 las cannon shots. 4. Right, okay, let's fire this thing. 2, I'm going to put everything into that. Everything. Yeah, everything. Is that the right life choice? Yeah, everything. Right, hitting on 4s with the twin melters. And they both hit. Interesting. Strength 8, toughness 8. And 1 wounds. It's -4 AP, so it actually melts straight through your armour. And at this range, it's 2d6, pick the highest. And that's 4 damage. 22 wounds to go. Let's hit it with the assault cannon. 4s to hit. That's not too bad for my shooting anyway. Yeah, 5 hits. Just under average. That's pretty good for me. Strength 5 toughness. Strength 6 toughness 8. So I need 5s. 2 and -1 save. So 2 4-up saves. Which you make. The 2 missiles hit on 4s. No, they were strength 8 -3, 3 damage. So no, only taken a bunch of wounds off so far. And that's it for my shooting, I think. They've fired. Everything has fired. I almost killed a Lehman Russ. Tickled this thing. And las cannons light this Hellhound up, but the driver is obviously spewing flames all over the place and they can't get a direct bead on him. So now I'm going to need to charge. And they're going to charge your Bullbrins, and only your Bullbrins, so I can try and get in combat and not die. Do I want to declare a charge on the tank as well? Yeah, I might as well multi-charge, because if I... damn it. No, let's just do the Bullbrins. I don't want to get overwatched by plasma. I need a 9, and I rolled a 9. This is where we ended up after the assault move and the pile-in move. All the hammers there, one of the claws and the sergeant. And I've conquered. I don't like doing this, but them's the rules now. This leaves me within 6 inches of Chaplain Snow. So my Hammonators will re-roll to hit. And because they're unwieldy, I really do need that modifier. And it was a pretty foregone conclusion getting through all of those Ogryns with ease. Those hammers do a flat 3A damage. Ogryns have a 3 wounds, so every single one that wounded basically just broke straight through the slab shield and smashed them. And then I was able to pile in or consolidate into this wounded Lehman Russ on 1 wound left, which will stop it shooting, but considering that it's so crippled anyway, yeah, it's going to have to fall back. And it manages to pull my Hammonators further and further and further into the lines. Certainly gives that something, Alex, to think about, because look, next turn they could be in there. So these Hammonators are going to attract, I have no doubt they're going to attract a terrible amount of firepower. But I've given him other things to think about. Storm Raven, another unit of Hammonators here. Does he really want to fire back at my tanks, considering that they didn't do any damage to him? But let's face it, Alex had a really poor shooting phase as well. I had a really poor shooting phase. We haven't done much damage to each other yet. Let's find out if the traitor guard can do a lot of damage in turn 2. Okay, very little movement from the traitor guard because they want to bring all their guns to bear. Interestingly, the Valkyrie's dropped down, so he's no longer hitting on 4s, he'll be hitting on 5s. -1 on its weaponry, turning their 3-up invulnerable save, well, their 2-up armor save into their 3-up invuln, essentially. Trying to pour fire in, Strachan has got out of this steel behemoth with some Ogrins. They're going to be going in. I can see a lot of firepower coming in on the Hammonators, and why wouldn't you? Strachan also, sorry, not Strachan, Yarrick is giving them reroll a hit, reroll a hit, reroll a hit, and he's in range of the Stormlord as well, giving that reroll a hit, rolls of 1, and it stayed still, bringing its full guns to bear. That Executioner staying still, bringing its full guns to bear. The only thing that moved to this is this Hellhound hammering into reverse after las cannon fire ricocheted over its head, because its flyer weaponry, its flamer, can hit the Storm Raven as well. So essentially, the guard look like they want to clear this front line first, taking chunk out of chunks out of the Space Marine force before they advance. They need a good shooting phase in this turn. Let's see what they can do. Heavy Bolt of Flamer took a couple of wounds off the Storm Raven, leaving it on 4, and he thought long and hard about splitting fire with the Executioner. Down at these Terminators could see them, but in the end, because it's hard to hit, firing everything at the Storm Raven. Try to take it out. This is the main gun. 6 shots again. And the other ones, okay, 6, that's 10 shots. This hits on, well, it's all going to be hitting on 5s now. Yep. Because it's a hard to hit roll. And you got 8 shots. Hitting on 5.
10 shots.
10 shots, yeah. 5s to hit, 4s to wound, strength 7, toughness 7, and then -3. He's only got 4 wounds left. Okay, you get 2 in there so far, 2 6-ups. I failed both of them. He's got 2 wounds left. Now there's a las cannon.
These are D3s, right? Oh,
no, it's just plasma. They're single shots, yeah. Now you've got the las cannon, which fails to hit. 2 wounds left. Now inside the Stormlord, the first unit of tactical is firing las cannons, las guns up, plasma gun, auto cannon up at this. Actually managed to get 2 wounds with las guns, so if I fail this, it's dead. And I fail it. You kill it with flashlights, it comes crashing down. I'll disembark, but let's see if it blows up. It doesn't blow. It does blow up. And yeah, so let's get the unit out and resolve that. Including the Ironclad Dreadnought, there's 11 models embarked, and I'm going to lose 2, and one of them won't be the Ironclad. And D3 mortal wounds on the Stormlord, which does 2 on the Stormlord. Then after the smoke clears, it looks like this, and there's still the las cannon team, and there's still another squad of infantry in there, and the Stormlord itself has yet to speak. Only half of the second platoon squad fired at the guys, killing 1 because he wants to. You've got to fire, and you can fire 20 guys out of there. This allows him to fire the 3 las cannons at the Ironclad, hitting on 4s, and that's 2 hits. Strength 9, toughness 8, and it doesn't win. The Ironclad breathes a sigh of relief. That's everything from inside of it, except for Harker, who hits on 3s, 2 hits with his heavy bolter, strength 5. And that's 2 wounds, and this is a -2 heavy bolter, a special heavy bolter. So 5 ups, and I fail 1. It does 2 damage, so 2 6-ups, and I fail 1. So Harker kills another in this squad. Right now the Stormlord's going to fire 18 heavy bolter shots into that, 2 las cannon shots into that, and because the Vulcan Mega Bolter does 2 damage, that's going to target the Terminators. Anyway, heavy bolters on the tactical squad, hitting on 4s and re-rolling 1s because you are within 6-inch range of Yarrick, or Yarrick wannabe. That's pretty good. That was really good. 12 hits, winning on 5s, 3s, yeah, 3s. And that's not so good. This is all -1, however. You could wipe them out. So I need 4s. And then 6s with Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. No, you kill 3 more. They're going to hurt in the morale phase. 2 las cannons at the Ironclad. Command point?
Nah.
You can kill it with... no?
No.
Now the Vulcan Mega Bolter, hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s. This could sting. Right, that was 12 hits, wounding on 3s. Yeah, this is going to sting. Okay, -2 to my save, so my Terminator save 2 up becomes a 4 up, but I am in a crater, so that's a 3 up. But each of these does 2 damage and wipes out a Terminator, so 3 up saves. Wow, I walk through fire. Yeah, the crater saved 4 people there. Right, then deeper into the shooting phase, assault grenades, Harker, this thing, lots of small arms fire, Ratlin's yet to fire yet, all pouring into the Terminators, only killing 1. The big gun is yet to speak. The Basilisk fired over and wiped out 2 of the Devastators. And now we're firing the Storm Eagle rockets from the Manticore, and you're firing them into what? The Ironclad, okay. 2d6 shots, and you get 7. Do you want a command point to 1?
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watch this. 1.
Watch this.
2.
2. That worked. 8 hits. Hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s, because the Officer of the Fleet is zeroing in his locations.
4s.
Yeah. With the re-rolls, that was 3 hits. Strength 10. That's 1 wound and
1 wound.
Just 1 wound, -2. It does go through and it does do D3 damage. And
1 damage.
1.
Right, all that.
All that. Rockets raining down and he does 1 damage on the Ironclad. So the Shadow Sword, las cannons and heavy bolters at the Terminators, the big gun coming down here. What are you firing first?
Las cannons at Terminators?
Yep. 4s to hit. 2s to wound. I need a 3 up invulnerable save, which I make. Heavy bolters hitting on 4s, re-rolling 1s. So that's a lot of 2s. You've been as unlucky as me. Maybe it's these dice. I think these dice are cursed. Time to burn them, I think. 3s to wound. -1. So it will... These dice just love rolling 2s. That was 5 wounds, but it does mean this is a 3 up save. See, there's a bunch of 2s. 6 ups. Nope, that's another dead Terminator. And then D6 shots on the Predator. 3 shots, hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1s. Just 1 hit, strength 16. That's a wound, minus a lot, so no save and 2d6 damage. You kill it in 1 turn. 9 damage with only 1 that snuck through. Imagine if 2 snuck through, it would be dead. Down to 2 wounds remaining. Then the Master of Ordnance dropped his barrage down. D6 shots, he got all 6. Hitting on 4s, that's 4 hits. And he's winning on 2s because this is strength 8. And that's 4 wounds. -2 to my save. So basically I need 3 up and buns. Or it's D3 damage a pop. And that's D3 damage on 1 Terminator. Don't roll a 1, sir. What'd you get?
6.
Okay, so 3, 6 for no pains. You kill another Terminator, so that's only 3 Terminators dead. Let's take from the back or the front, the back or the front, the back or the... Yeah, let's take him away. Now all that's left to fire is the Ratlins. He could pick on these characters here because they're sniper weaponry, but I've left a Melter, Combi Melter, Multi-Melter in that squad. Looking at his big gun, so he needs to shoot them. Hitting on 3s with Ratlins. And re-rolling 1s because you're within range of Yarrick. Did you get all of them?
No, I got missed 1.
Okay, strength 4, toughness 4, but any 6s cause mortal wounds. There's 1 6, so that's 1 is wiped out, and then 1 3 up save with a 6 up feel no pain. So just 1 dies. Melter, I guess. Leaving 2 left. Morale is going to sting. That's the end of the shooting phase for the Guard. Essentially, they killed a Storm Raven and hurt this troop and hurt the Terminator squad, and that's it. So now we're going on to charge phases, and I guess your Ogrins are going in at the Haminators, and I have no Overwatch. Here we are after the charge move, leaving a gap here for Strachan to get through, and then we're going to be piling in. 6 command points left. After the first assault, I could spend 2 command points to interrupt, but honestly, don't really want to, because I want to spend 2 command points keeping them alive, that Melter and the Combi Melter, next to that thing. And I think their 3 up invulnerable saves should be able to keep them alive. Let's see what these Ogrins can do. Or Bulgrins. What are they?
Bullgrins.
Bullgrins. So Strachan has 4 attacks, but +1 for Kachan, and he hits on 2s. And so that's 4 hits. And he wounds on 3, strength 6. Now this is -1 and it does 2 damage each. So 3s to wound. And that's 2 of them. And so my invulnerable save all my armor, and if I fail this I lose a guy. Oh no, he kills 1, so 2 kills 2, so 2d6. Chapter Tactics, 2d6, Chapter Tactics, no. Strachan just wipes through 2 Terminators on his own. So just when a hero was needed, Strachan steps up to the challenge. Bullgrins get +1 attack on the charge, and they hit on 3s. And their strength 5, they wound on 3s. It looks like a lot of them slipped on the blood that Strachan created on the way in. Or maybe not. That's 4 wounds. So 4 2-up saves, which I make every single one, and then we've got this second assault crashing in as well. 13 more attacks. 13 hits just out of range of Strachan's influence, sorry, Yarek's influence to reroll 1s. Not that they need it. So that was much better. No blood on this side. And wounding on 3s. Yeah, much better. Okay, let me grab all of them. I need a lot of 2-up. Terminator armor saves for the Emperor and all that. Fail 1, 6-up. Okay, you injure 1 of the Terminators and then I will strike back. So I need to pile in. So they'll go 3, he'll go... I think I want to stay away from Strachan. He doesn't need to move. So those guys that way. There's the Sergeant there, which has this many attacks. No re-rolling this time, hitting on 3s. And these are the claws, so I need 5s with a re-roll. It's 2 wounds, it's -3 AP, but those slab shields give you a 2-up save. So 2 5-up saves. Make 1. 1 takes a wound. Hammers coming in, 4s to hit. No re-rolls. 3s to wound. 1 wound. This is -3 AP and does a flat 3 damage. If you could roll there, I'd appreciate it. 1 5-up save, because it's a -3 with a hammer. So that kills that injured one. So that unit just killed 1, and then these 2 guys are attacking that unit of Bullgrins there. They're going to hit on 4s because they're hammers. Strength 8 versus toughness 5, wounding on 3s. Nothing. Nothing. I kill a Bullgrin. That's it. That's the end of your turn. And I've got some leadership tests to make. Now this is dangerous stuff. I can pay 2 command points to automatically pass them, or 2 command points to automatically pass these, and I lost 5. I need to think. So Terminators have a leadership of 9, and I get to re-roll with And They Shall Know No Fear, so I'm not spending it for them. I'm going to spend 2 command points to keep them alive and roll their leadership. 3 plus the 5 I lost is 8. Their leadership is 9. They hold. And that's the end of guard turn 2. My Hammonators are locked up, but there is a second wave sat here. And the guard were not able to repel as much as they would have liked. So now the 13th really need to do some damage. But all my forces are now on the table. This is where we will be. I've got no more surprises up my sleeve. I need to shoot. I need to shoot with some conviction. And I need to push into their lines. Let's go on to Space Marines.
Sorry.
Turn 2. Here we are after the movement phase for the 13th. He passed his morale as well. And these guys coming around here so I can draw a line of sight on that Hellhound one more time. They move so they'll be hitting on 4s. And Solgarin, the Lieutenant, equidistance between these 2 units. So it buffs that one and buffs that one. And the Predator going backwards, healing 2 wounds from 2 to 4. That's what's happening in the back castle. Shots going that way, healing the Predator. He's now out of line of sight from the volcano cannon on the big gun. And they stood still to fire into that. He's moving around to charge that. I potentially could wreck that this turn. Maybe. And in the middle, both Sagan Mir and the Chaplain advancing all the way around. Need him central for his 6-inch bubble of re-rolling to hit, because Hammonators are useless unless they've got a Chaplain nearby. Maybe not useless, but hitting on 4s with hammers sucks. But re-rolling to hit every assault phase because he's yelling at him, much, much better. With my Terminators moving forward as well, keeping the Cyclone missile launcher still because it's a heavy weapon, and if I move it'll be minuses to hit. So that's what's going on here. Some movement there, some shuffling in the backfield. I am close to quite a few number of objectives. These scouts staying still, there's an objective there as well. But we've got a long way from the end. So let's do some psychic powers. Need to do Veil of Time on there so they can reroll charges. Because I'm in a crater, it'll be -2 to my charge range when I charge out and try and support their brother Terminators. So they're going to need help with the charge. This is Warp Charge 6, which passes. And then Smite, because there's nothing else worth doing, which passes and does D3 mortal wounds. 2 mortal wounds on the Ogrins. So in the shooting phase, these 2 las cannon Razorbacks took 5 wounds, only 5 wounds off them. Alex made a couple of 6-up saves. This las cannon, however, this lone heroic devastator, fired all the way across and blew up that Lehman Russ, which, with a twist of fate or a twist of a command point, Alex prevented from blowing up because it would have hurt his Bullgrins, it would have hurt Yarrick, and it would have hurt the Shadow Sword as well. So it didn't blow up in the end. Burning another command point, putting Alex only on 3 left. Small arms fire, Storm Bolters, not so small to Ratlins because they're only toughness 2, wiped out 9 of them. Missile launchers going into the Shadow Sword as well, Storm Lord, doing no damage there. So essentially this castle has fired and killed the Lehman Russ, hurt that Chimera. They've hurt the Ratlins. The only thing left to fire are these guys firing at the Storm Lord. So heavy flamer on the Ironclad, D6 auto hits, 1 hit, wounds on A, that'll wound it with a -1 save. And that does a damage, putting it down to that many. Okay, so Ironclad Melter hits, 2d6 at this range. Oh no, what am I doing? It hits and it's strength 8 versus toughness 8, which wounds. It's -4 to your save, so it burns straight through. Your armor does not protect you. 2d6. 6 more damage on the Stormlord. It's down to 13 left. There's a melter, multi-melter there. Let's fire them both, because he can kill it in close combat. And that's got 6 left. I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to fire the melter that way and the multi-melter at that Hellhound, which is really annoying me. Multi-melter, I didn't move. He misses anyway. So let's fire the melter. And that misses. So that squad, though they were heroic and passed their leadership test, are clearly firing blindly through the smoke, through the grime. And that's the end of my assault phase, I'm afraid. My shooting phase, I'm afraid. So we're going to do some assaults. So the Ironclad is auto in. Let's do the charge. But it can overwatch that big, scary, nasty vehicle, I think. I think it can. We need to check the rules. And these Terminators, this is the important one. I'm declaring a multi-assault against them and Strachan. And I can re-roll, and that's a 9. So that's more than enough to get me in. Snow and the Librarian, both advanced. They won't be able to assault. These guys could charge anyway. Yeah, he's in, so they might as well charge. And they'll charge in as well. So let's do Overwatch for the Ironclad, and then we'll go into the assault phase. The Ironclad made it in, suffering a wound to Overwatch on the way in. There is a rule that says Imperial Knights can't fire Overwatch, but nothing about super heavy tanks, so it did. Which was very worrying because it has las cannons, but only taking a wound in. Now to the attacks. Now, Seismic Hammer is a flat 5 damage, but it's -1 to hit. The other thing, the other Dreadnought Fist is a 3 damage, but I can hit with normal attacks. And I've got a lot of wounds to get through. I've got 13 to get through. So I'm going to have to use the Seismic Hammer. So instead of hitting on 3s, I hit on 4s. He gets +1 attack because he has 2 close combat weapons. That's on the data sheet, not because of the rule. 4s to hit. And I hit once. No! Command point. Command point. Only hit once. It doubles his strength to 12, so it still needs a 3 to wound. And it does wound. It's -4, so it strips right through the armor and does 5 damage, knocking it down to 7 left. And now, that big beast, these things as well, we did them off camera, those 2 little guys attacked, but now the big beast can strike back The driver engages his tracks. He's going to go for the infantry instead. 6 attacks hitting on 5s. And that's a lot of hits as they get run over. This is strength 9. You're going to wound them on 2s. You wound both of those metals on 2s. Maybe it was a bad idea charging with them. That's 4 wounds. 4 3-up saves. And I fail 1. And feel no pain? Nope. So one of them dies. I've got to take the multi-melter because of morale purposes. And that's the end of that assault. Now let's descend into this madness here. These back 2 are not assaulting. The sword already swung and missed, and now there's 7 fists. I can't hit Strachan because he's not within an inch of me. So forced to hit with fists and re-rolling to hit. I kind of caught that one before it finished spinning. And so now the re-rolls because I was scared of it going off the table. So that many hits. This is strength 8 versus toughness 5. So that many wounds. It's -3 AP, but your slab shields, or whatever they're called, brute shields, give you a 2-up save. So this is 5-up saves. And you make a chunk of them.
3 fails.
Only 3 fails. Each of these does D3 wounds. The first guy's on 1 wound left, so he's dead. The next one does D3. That's 2 and doesn't kill 1. And the next one will do D3 and kill him, leaving 1 left. That's all my charging units doing. You want to spend one of your 3 command points to interrupt? No? No. So the Hammonators pile in. 2 hammers on him. The last Ogren in that squad. 4s to hit. Re-rolling. Only 1 hit. I need a 3, which I get. You need a 5 up to keep him alive because it does a flat 3 damage yet. That Ogren gets wiped out. And then these 2 hammers into that squad there. Still within 6-inch range of snow. That's this unit. 4s to hit with the reroll. 3s to wound. 3 wounds, 3 5-up saves on your 2 models. And it does... Dead. And they are dead. All of the Ogrins dead. Strachan left alive. I'm going to choose not to consolidate to pile in towards him because I don't want him hitting me back because he does 2 damage. He's just caught in a circle of elite Terminators staring at them, probably screaming, "Come on, hit me!" But they're just standing there looking at him, waiting for him to charge. And that's the end of turn 2 for the Space Marines. That's the end of turn 2 for the 13th. I dominate the center of the battle grid. I haven't killed any of the super heavies yet. They're going to need to do some serious work this turn. In fact, that phase, all I killed was some Ogrins and a Layman Russ. We are hurting each other, but we're not doing any particular serious damage. I think that was a very good turn for me. How do you think it's going?
Good.
Good. Okay, let's see what the Guard can do in turn 3. Here we are in the movement phase, very little moved. The Storm Lord drawing back, it can pull back and fire. Hellhound coming around, ready to flame, and Yarrick want to be pulling back as well. Pulling back further and further into the corner of the battle grid. The Guard tanks need to do some work in this shooting phase. Interrupting the shooting phase, should have mentioned the Rattlin's gone. And Iron Hand Strachan just standing in this ring of Terminators are ready to charge, I guess. The troops inside here and the las cannons and everything firing at the Ironclad, only taking a wound off of it. Very disappointing. Hellhounds put a wound on the Terminators. Now we've got a las cannon from the Layman Russ hitting the Ironclad, and the plasma is going into the Terminator squad. This is the las cannon, and it misses.
So the main plasma gun.
5
the
shots.
D3s.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 shots.
What do I need to
4
do?
hits, 3s to wound. And this is at the standard Terminator, so 5 up and bums. And 6 up, feel no pains.
Got to do D3 wounds. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't.
No, it just does 1. 1 already took a wound, so that guy's dead. But that was disappointing again. So after that failed to kill the Ironclad and only killing 1 Terminator there so far, he's choosing to pull the trigger, fire everything from the Shadow Sword into the Ironclad. Though its shooting profile was degraded, that was so much gun, the ironclad just gets melted. It didn't explode, but finally taking him out, a piece of joy, a sigh of relief, killing the melter gunner and killing the ironclad, which would have killed the Stormlord. So now let's go on to the other shooting stuff. Then moving back around here, the Basilisk firing up. Andover finally dealt with that Predator, and it's now the Manticore's picking on the normal Terminator's 2d6 shots. He gets 10 shots. This will hit on 4s, reroll in 1s, and it will wound on 2s. And it's -2, I think, so this is going to hurt these normal Terminators. And that's pretty good hitting. So wounding on 2s, that's 5 wounds.
Alright.
-2 to my save, so I have 4 ups. And each of these does D3 damage. So you have to do these one at a time because they could kill a guy, and I've got my Iron Hands thingy bob. So the first one, D3. Okay, so that does 2 damage, so I need 2 6-ups. One is dead. Second one, yeah, 3 6-ups. 2 is dead. Third one, 3, so 3 6-up chapter tactics.
Ready?
Third one is dead, and the last one,
Got 5.
just 1. What?
I got 5.
Oh, you got 5. So that's a 6-up. No. So one takes a wound, and then
Doesn't
this
matter,
does
though.
3, unless I roll 3 6s. No, I roll 1 6. So
That's
basically
4
there's 4 Terminators. That's better from the Manticore. And there's a big gap where he once was. The Valkyrie fired in as well, didn't do anything. And now Yarrick fired in, didn't do anything. And now it's up to the Shadow Sword, Titan Killer. What is he going to pick on? Yeah.
Terminators.
Terminators? Terminators or normal Terminators?
How many norms we got left?
How many normal left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 and 5 in there now. It's split equally. He's going to have a better job killing these guys.
Yeah, have to shoot
I think you're just going to have to take the charge.
and
And
shoot the hammers, isn't they?
you're going to have... Well, I don't know.
Think.
Yeah. These guys have a 5-up and Vun. They have a 3-up and Vun. If it was me, I would try and kill the normal Terminators. Shoot at what you can kill. And then you'll only have 5 Hammonators to deal with. Those are my thoughts.
Thanks.
What does the internet think? What would you fire at? I would definitely kill the normal Terminators. Okay, the big gun, the Volcano Cannon and the Las Cannons coming on the normal Terminators. Heavy bolters on the Hammonators, dropping their 2-up to a 3-up. 4s to hit and re-rolling the 1s because of Yarrick. That was 8 hits, wounded on 3s. And that is really bad again.
4.
4 3-up saves. And I make them all, I'm afraid. So 2 Las Cannons.
The guys in the back.
Yep. Both miss. And then D6 shots with a Volcano Titan Killer gun. 1. Do you want a command point it?
No.
No? Hits on a 4. Wounds on a 2. 5-up and Vun.
Oh, you took it.
And then 2d6 damage. I think he's dead.
You passed it, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I passed my 5-up and Vun.
Roll
What are
it,
you talking
didn't
about?
look.
Basically, yeah, I didn't even look. The Shadow Sword did nothing to the Terminators. They stand firm.
It's down to Strachan, isn't it?
It's down to Strachan charging in.
Deal with all of them. Yeah,
On
on
his
charge
own.
to shoot you ones Overwatch.
Charge to shoot you ones, Overwatch, yeah. So he took a wound to Overwatch. He's got 5 attacks on the charge, hitting on 2s. And everything hit. This is strength 6 because he's mainly bionics. He is the bionic man, so he's wounded on 3s. And that is 4 wounds, and it is -2 to save. And each does 2 damage. So 4 ups or Terminators die. He's gonna kill 2. 2 6-up for no pains. 1 dies, and the other one dies. Again, he just murders 2 of them. Looks like this, then he will get within an inch of an assaulting model. Then I will strike back. I've got my sergeant with a sword, 3s to hit, re-rolling because I'm close to Chaplain Snow. I'm wounding on 4s because Strachan is a beast. That does wound him. He's got his 5-up refractor field save, which passes. He is a tank. Fists, hitting on 4s. 3 hits, wounding on 2s because this is strength 8. Alright, now you need 3 5-up refractor saves. Can he take it? He saves 2. He's got 4 wounds left. Are you command pointing it? This does D3 damage. I can't kill him.
Nah, he's fine. He loves it.
It does 1.
He's on 3.
Only 1 damage. He's on 3 wounds left. And that's the end of Imperial Guard turn 3. And I lost 7 Terminators that turn. 7 in that turn. So I'm going to have to burn another 2 command points, because if I roll a 1, I'll pass. But I don't want to... Yeah, I'm going to have to burn another 2 command points. That puts me down to 1 command point left. Alex has got 3 command points left. It didn't seem like he did enough, but killing that ironclad there, locking up the Terminators, means I've only got 5 Terminators charging forward into your lines. And the Predator's gone as well. Suddenly, yeah, it suddenly feels a bit more significant. Basically, if you clear out those Terminators, if you clear them all away, I will have very little left. I'll have these guys back here, and the scouts here. So it looked like you were on the back foot for turn after turn after turn. But this could have been a game-changing turn for the Imperial Guard. Let's go on to the 13th, turn 3. Right, in the movement phase, I thought about activating my teleport Homer and zipping him back there. And then Strachan would have been the closest one in line of sight and target to the las cannon. But I think I can do that next turn if I need. I think I should be able to kill him in the assault phase. I should. But he's been killing 2 Terminators every time he's charged someone. Librarian advancing forward, Chaplain advancing forward. These guys just moving forward, getting close to the castle, and Strachan in the backfield. This could be a very deciding charge. I need to get a Veil of Time on them so they can re-roll their charge ranges 1 more time. But I won't be able to string them out enough so they'll re-roll to hits with the Chaplain there. So do I go for the Warlord? Do I go for the Shadow Sword with the Hammer Terminators? I just don't know. Both potentially, yeah. But Terminator still holding up the centre of the table. Scouts staying still, ready to try and get that objective later on. Scouts staying still, ready to get this objective later on. But both of the Razorbacks moving up. I am in range of that Layman Russ. And the Lieutenant and Solgarrow moving forward, advancing. Shouting out orders, telling the gunners how to re-roll to hit and to wound, and giving them firing coordinates with the Razorbacks there. I have pushed the guard all the way back, but I don't have much gun left. Anyway, let's go on to the psychic phase. Right, Veil of Time, re-rolling charges on the Terminators. Will charge 6. That passes. Now I'm going to smite. And Strachan's closest. He's on 3 wounds left. And that passes, and this does D3 mortal wounds. And it only does 1. He walks through that as well. Mind bullets cannot take him down. I guess a power fist to the face is going to have to do it. Right, while I've got dice in my hand, let's shoot some Razorbacks at that Layman Russ over there. 4's to hit because I moved. 1 hit. And 3's to wound. That's a wound. You get a 6-up save, sir. Nope, and this does D6 damage. That only does 3. Let's fire the other Razorback. They both hit. 3's to wound. They both wound. 2 6-up saves. You make one of them, it's going to live. And 2 more. That's only 5 damage in total. They start off with 12. It's down to 7. Then the las cannon from this Devastator is out of range of the Shadow Sword, so I fired at the Vendetta. Valkyrie doing nothing, and that's the end of my shooting phase. Very little left. Chaplain Snow advanced. So now I need to charge. And yeah, let's just charge Yarrick, because I don't want that overwatching me. I should be able to pile into it. So let's charge Yarrick. 11, I'll be in. We'll do the overwatch. Here we are, after the charge. I've got 4 hammers there, which does 3 damage. I'm out of range of Chaplain Snow, so just 4's to hit. And that's only 3 hits. He's strict toughness 4, Yarrick, old man that he is, but this is strength 8, so 2's to wound. 2 wounds, and he's got a 4-up invulnerable save. And you make them both. Claws coming in from the Sergeant. 3's to hit. 4's to wound with a reroll. 3 more wounds. 3 4-up invulnerable saves. Yarrick takes a wound, and then he gets to strike back.
3s, right?
Yeah, Yarrick only has 3 attacks. He hits on 3s because he's got a big claw. Yep, that all hits, and his strength times 2, so it's strength 6. Wounding on 3s. And that's 1 wound. It's minus 3 AP. It's a power claw. No, power claw. 3 up and bun. And I fail it. This does D3 damage. 1 damage. 1 6 up, feel no pain. Iron hands. Thank you very much. No, 1 Terminator takes a wound. We do a wound each. And that's it. I can pile in towards the closest enemy unit, which will be that. He'll still get to Overwatch. He'll still get to fire. Yeah, so if I piled him that way, he can still move and fire, so there's no point. And he will get to hit back with his strength 9, 6 attack. So let's stay there. Let's lock up your Warlord. And that's the end of turn 3. Oh no, we've got this assault. Do you want to spend 2 command points to interrupt?
I better do that, I'm dead.
So that puts you on 1 command point left. I'm on 1 command point left. He has 5 attacks, where he has 4 attacks plus 1 because of his trait. Now I think it's just plus 1 attack. Let's check the rules. 5 attacks hitting on 2s. And he's strength 6, so he's wounding on 3s. And each of these, again, 2 damage. 2 wounds, minus 2, so 2 4-ups. I fail 1. It does 2 damage to one of the Terminators. And one of the Terminators lives. He only drops a wound. Now I'm going to punch him back. And there is 2 fists there. And I'm within 6 inches of Chaplain's now. Shouting at them. Forced to hit. Everything hit. 2s to wound. 3 wounds. 3 5-up invulnerable saves. Each of these doing D3 damage. Can Strachan live 1 more turn?
Unlikely.
Nope. This does D6. Yeah, that's 4 damage. He dies. And I take out the second in command. Here we are after we consolidate a valiant effort by the wannabe Colonel Iron Hand Strachan. I'm deep in the Astra Militarum line. Let's see what they can do in turn 4. Here we are after the movement phase. Strachan fell back out of combat, which means these guns can rain in firepower onto those Haminators. Hellhound moving up onto that objective, and the Valkyrie engaging flyer mode, coming all the way down here, thinking about line break in turn 5, and wants to kill him. I'm a long way from it, to be honest, to get onto it, to try and score it in turn 5. So at the moment, the Guard have got 2 objectives. They had First Blood as well. They will be getting line breaker. This is turn 4. I'm going to be getting line breaker, but they really need to kill these Haminators. So let's go on to Guard shooting phase. Right, starting off the shooting phase, Sergeant Harker and the units embarked in there, firing everything, flashlights and plasma and autocannons at the Haminators, killing 1. And now you're shooting everything from that into them. There's nothing, well, you could shoot downstream.
Nah, let's shoot everything into them, they got to die, haven't they?
Everything into them. Okay, this is 5s to hit now.
Heavy bolters.
This is the heavy bolters. Rerolling 1s, and yeah, I've got 0 1s.
It's going to be much quicker just to pick them forward.
3s to wound.
Jesus.
Okay, 2 wounds, just 2 wounds.
Just 2.
2 3-up saves, and 2 6-up feel no pains. You kill another one. You kill another one. Now the Stormlord firing at the Terminators. The heavy bolters managed to kill one of the Terminators. Now we've got the big gun. 20 shots hitting on 5s, rerolling 1s because of Strachan. Well, not Strachan. Yarrick. Pretend Yarrick. Chaos Yarrick. Renegade Yarrick. 5s to hit. How much you get?
Oh, yeah, actually.
You've got quite a lot. 8, and this is strength 6, minus 2, 2 damage. Okay, so that's 4. I'll take it on my Sergeant, my claws guy. No, it's minus 2, so I need to take it on shields. So first one, he dies. 2 6-up, feel no pains. He's died. Second one, shield holds. Third one, shield holds. Fourth one, and 2 6-up, feel no pains. And 1 just takes a wound and 1 dies. So las cannons to the face, point blank range, 1 hits. 1 wounds, 1 3 up and run, no, d6 damage because I might have a lot of 6 up feeling pains to roll. 6, I'm not going to roll 6 for 6 sixes, he's dead, leaving the sergeant on his own deep in your lines. Now onto the Shadow Sword, 18 heavy bolters going to this Terminator, and the las cannons and Volcano. Now he wants to pick on Chaplain Snow, but he's not the closest unit yet. So the Volcano cannon and the las cannons going into the other Terminators. Anyway, let's fire these heavy bolters, forced to hit, it didn't move, re-rolling 1s, because he's within 6-inch ranges of Yarrick, and that's a lot of hits. 3s to wound. That's a lot of 1s. How many 1s do you get there? Yeah, like 5 1s. Okay, minus 1 AP, so this is 3 up saves. That's enough to kill him unless I make a 6 up. He's dead. You take out the last of the assault Terminators and now fire 2 las cannons in at this Terminator squad here. And both, well, rerolling 1. 1 hits, doesn't wound. And the Volcano cannon, Titan Killer on Terminators, 2 shots, hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s. Nope, just 1 hit, wounds on a 2, strength 16. That wounds. I need a 5 up and run. And I'm not going to roll 28, 6 up, feel no pains. I'm just going to take 1 away. Flamer or Missile or Sergeant. Let's take the Flamer away. He dies. So Terminators falling. The 20 Terminators that I brought to this fight have been whittled down to 2 left. And we've still got the Plasma Cutioner to fire. I'm sure he's going downstream. He fired his Flamer already in. Didn't do anything, and we've got the artillery in the backfield yet to fire as well. Then the Plasma Cutioner fired down into this Razorback, missing with the last cannon, and you're doing 2 wounds with the plasma cannons. And now artillery. I know the Valkyrie will be firing at that 1 lone Devastator down there, guarded my objective. Do you want to do that? Yeah. Assault 2d6 shots. So that's 7 shots. It's heavy, so you're hitting on 8 shots. Yeah. So you're hitting on 5s. That's good hitting. And it's strength 5, so winning on 3s. And it's minus 1, but I'm in a crater, so it's plus 1. So I need 3 up saves. And a 6 up Iron Hands. And that lone Devastator finally falls. Cat, Manticore, firing at the Terminators. Heavy 2d6. Only 4 this time. 4s to hit. Rerolling 1s. He's within range of the... okay, 2 hits, strength 10. 2 wounds, minus 2, so 2 4-ups. No, and each of them does d3 damage. So I need 2 6-ups, then 2 6-ups. 2 6-ups, 1 Terminator falls, the other one. 1 is left alive on 1 wound left. That'll be the Cyclone Missile Launcher, no doubt. So it's just the Basilisk left to fire. He wants to fire it down there and kill some of my infantry or soften up this infantry, but he has to kill him. Otherwise he's going to teleport back and probably be safe. So 2d6 shots, pick the highest with the Basilisk. That's 6. Boxcars rolled there. 4s to hit, re-rolling 1s. And only 2 hits. 2s to wound. Okay, 2 4-ups. And it does d3 damage. I fail 1.
He's only on 1 anyway.
So that does 3 damage. Can I roll 3 6s? No, I can't roll 3 6s. You clear away. Finally clear away every single Terminator except for those 2 heroes that managed to come into your lines. That's the end of your shooting phase, right? Mm-hmm. In turn 4. So the Guard finally, after pulling back and back and back, have managed to repel borders. Their Warlord has managed to stay alive. And you've got 2 super heavy tanks, 2 artillery pieces, 2 tanks and a flyer left and a cat back here. And it's on to the 13th, turn 4. Apart from these 2 heroes and some scouts, this is all I really have left. Suddenly the Guard are in the ascendancy. Okay, so I need to think about this one. and then pull the trigger. Right, it's turn 4, and these two Razorbacks moving back, but keeping out of line of sight from that big nasty gun, because I went second. So in turn 5, they're both within advanced range of getting that objective. There's 2 of them. One of them, I could score it. Mind you, we're doing the thing where you can't score. Flyers, things with the flyer mode can't score, but it can line break. And you are line breaking. So I need to get it anyway. I need to get that objective and shoot him. The Tech Marine healed the Razorback, so they're both on full wounds. So kill that, stop the line breaker, and then next turn the scouts score that. And I've got at least one objective. Right now, you've got one objective here, and Chaplain Snow doesn't know when he's beat. And he's advanced round, ready to keep murdering, keep rampaging, keep killing stuff in the guard lines. But Sagan Mir, well, he's a bit of a wiser man, and he's pulled back and round here to join with the scouts, to hold down with the scouts close to this objective here. Potentially, I'm going to be very close to 2 objectives at the end of the game, and the guard are going to need to shift a long way at the end of the game to score some points or kill Chaplain Snow. I've got very few things left, but I'm closer to holding these objectives. I've got a better chance of winning this game, I think. If it doesn't go on to turn 6, if these guys pull out and then get nuked, then potentially I could lose this game. I really need it turned in turn 5. Anyway, he's out of psychic range of anything. I'm not going to do anything there. He advanced, so he's not going to do anything there. They're sat there. The only thing that matters around here is killing that. So let's shoot at them. They both moved. So 4s, now hitting on 5s because it's hard to hit. Oh yeah, in the psychic phase he is in range of this for a smiting. And that's a smiting, D3 mortal wounds on the Valkyrie. Does 1. And let's fire all 4 las cannons together because it's 5s to hit, re-rolling 1s. Only 1 hit and 3s to wound, and I don't wound anything. Just put 1 wound on the Valkyrie. And that's the end of my turn. So let's go on to guard turn 5. Here's the end of the movement phase. Turn 5 for the guard. The super heavies, the steel behemoths advance, and the only objective that the guard control is this one. So that would be 3 points. Plus first blood, plus line breaker if this hard to hit Valkyrie survives. And I should be able to get 2 objectives at the end of turn 5. I should be able to get 2 and win this game. So Alex really wants it to go on to turn 6, and the person who goes first, which was the guard, rolls a dice to see if the game ends, and he's got 1 command point left in his pocket, so he's got the opportunity to re-roll that. And as soon as I stick my head out here in turn 5, if it goes on to turn 6, there's going to be an awful lot of firepower coming down on some scouts, and an awful lot of firepower coming down on some scouts over there as well. So he's positioning himself around, ready for a turn 6. This thing is out of its storm, spear, sky. Its missiles are out. Missiles are out, so that's advanced. Yarrick moving up behind these steel behemoths here. So let's go on to the shooting phase. There's going to be very little he's going to be able to kill, except of course Chaplain Snow. So everything from inside the Stormlord managed to fire into Chaplain Snow. We've got auto cannons, las cannons, Sergeant Harker, things like that. Because it moved, they were hitting on 5s. And Chaplain Snow is alive with 1 wound left, but it has yet to speak, and the Executioner has yet to speak. He's hanging in there, battered and bruised, but still alive so far. Now the heavy bolt was from the Stormlord going into Chaplain Snow. That's going to be 18 shots, and we've just measured up, and from the tip of that axle there, he can see Sagan Mir, and he is closer than these scouts tucked away in here. So potentially to take out both of these characters here. Hitting on 5s with the heavy bolters though, and re-rolling 1s because Strachan Wannabe is right behind. That was hitting on 6s, 3s to wound. You get 3 wounds through, 3 Terminator saves to make. And Chaplain Snow walks through the fire. However, there's going to be...
I'm shooting him now.
Yeah, 2 las cannons.
Oh, can I shoot him since he's not the closest?
He's not the closest now, yeah. So you're going to have to... Yeah, you're going to have to pour everything into the Chaplain. So 2 las cannons, 5s to hit. No. It's 6s to hit because it's heavy and you're moved and you're crippled. And so the main gun is going to be 6s to hit him because he moved and you're heavy and you're crippled. He might live. He might not live. But he might live if the Shadow Sword doesn't target him. And he can see him. Damn. 20 shots hitting on 6s. And re-rolling 1s. And I can see 3 6s so far. 4 6s. Wounding on 3s. 2 wounds. -2. 2 4-up in buns. He makes it. He tanks a Stormlord to the face. In the executioner fired at him, managed to get 3 hits, wounding on 3s with the plasma. And that's 3. Okay, 3 more 4-up in buns. And 1 6-up, feel no pain. And Chaplain Snow falls. And because he took so much to kill, he wanted to throw some of the firepower up here and was unable to fire any of the firepower up here. Whittle down some of the scouts, or whittle down Sagamir. Chaplain Snow hanging in firm, hanging in tough, saved all the firepower. The only thing now that can really fire is the Basilisk up and over, and the Hellhound round here. So this is important. Basilisk firing in, D6 auto hits. And this is 6. How many do you need? You got a bunch of dice. Wounding on 3s. And that's all 6. Shit. -1. And 6-ups. Or does it do 2 damage? Let's check.
This thing.
Does do 2 damage. So first guy, second guy, third guy is dead, fourth guy is dead, 4 are dead, and this is going to be important for morale tests. Then you got the heavy bolter hitting on 5s, nothing, but 4 of the scouts die. 2 d6 shots with the Basilisk, rolling 4, so 4s to hit, 2 hits, 2s to wound, both wound. I need 6-up saves. No, and each of these does d3 damage. Roll up d3, because if you get a 1, that was a 3. First guy, dead. Second guy, dead. So I lost 6 so far. Yeah, morale phase is going to hurt. Then the Valkyrie fired in, causing a wound, which I save on the rocket pods. Then you've got the las cannon hits on 5. And that doesn't hit. And I think that's all the stuff that is in range that can fire. The leadership is 7. I have only got 1 command point. I can't spend it. So 6 plus 7 means everybody's dead. Reroll with and they shall know no fear. 1 plus 7 is 8. I lose 1 more guy. They hold for now. And that's the end of your turn 5. A hero has fallen. Chaplain Julius Snow. Now let's go on to the 13th turn 5. Try and secure these objectives and hope that evac is called. Hope that this battle is over. We can pull back, we can withdraw and drop fire from the sky, from the battle barge onto this traitorous horde. Let's go on to the 13th turn 5. In the movement phase, it's all very simple. Scouts moving on to this objective. Scouts and Sagamir moving on to this objective. He advanced. I'm not going to do any psychic shenanigans because I don't want to perils. So I've got 2 objectives. The guard have got 1 plus first blood plus linebreaker. I will win if it ends in turn 5. Let's do something about linebreaker. All of these guys did not move. So I'm going to fire up with my Mastercrafted Stormbolter first from the Lieutenant, hitting on 4s, wounding on a 5. That does wound. It's 2 damage if you fail your armor save.
3 up.
3 up. Yeah, it doesn't fail. Now let's fire the 4 las cannons. This will be hitting on 4s. I think I did hit on 3s last turn. I was shooting at something else. I was shooting at that, right? Actually, if it goes to turn 6, that's going to hurt me more. Yeah, let's shoot that Hellhound instead. Let's fire twin las cannons at the Hellhound, hitting on 3s. And wounding on 3s. Rerolling 1s to wound because of the Lieutenant. And he's got 6 wounds left. You need a 6-up save, which you make. You need to kill this Hellhound or these guys are in trouble. Next one, 3s to hit. That's 1. 3s to wound. Wounds. 6 up save. Don't do it again, Alex. Don't do it. Off the board.
Oh no!
And you make it. Okay, I really need to hurt this thing, so let's chuck a grenade. 3s to hit. Strength 6. Doesn't do anything. And then 2 bolt pistols. There's a shotgun on the sergeant. 3s to hit. And 5s to wound. 1 wound, 3 up save. It can take glass cannons, but it can't take a humble bolter, putting it down to 5 left. There's really no point in shooting anything else here, to be honest. I can't kill it, even with the remaining fire there. There's no point in these scouts opening fire on that thing. It's got 22, 24, it's got a lot of wounds. 26 wounds left. So that's the end of my turn. That's the end of turn 5. And the person who went first rolls a dice. You have a command point on you. And on a 1-2, this game ends and I win. And I win unless you spend your last command point.
I think I might.
I think you might. Good luck. And we are going on to turn 6. Here we are after the movement phase for the traitor guard. Big guns coming round to put all the firepower into this unit that they can. And the Stormlord can see through this gap down into this scout there. And so long as you can see a unit, you can target that unit, and then they're all in trouble. They're all in trouble, deep, deep trouble. And then up on the other side, the Hellhound is now contesting that if the scouts die, meaning that I will be forced to react to take that back again. So pressure on the 2 objectives that I control. Let's go on to the guard shooting phase. We forgot to move the Valkyrie. What are you doing? I don't think you need to take Line Breaker. I think it's just about contesting these objectives. You might as well drop it down in the VTOL mode and hitting on 4s instead of hitting on... Yeah, and that gives me, instead of hitting on 5s, you're still line breaking. Now you're hitting on 4s because you're in VTOL mode, and it gives me lots of targets that I need to deal with. This could be a very brutal turn. The Lehman Russ as well, poking its head round. That can put shots down this way as well. Flame Gun got 2 hits from the Hellhound, 3s to wound, both wound, 5 up saves, and each does 2 damage. First guy's dead, second guy is alive. Only 1 dies. Now you've got a heavy bolter.
Hits on 5s.
Hits on 5s, nothing. You're going to have to shoot that Lehman Russ or the Valkyrie at them. 2d6 shots with the rocket pods. That's 6 shots with the rocket pods. These are heavy. It moved. It's hitting on 5s. 1 hit. Strength 5. 1 wound. -1 AP. 1 dies. 6 up, feel no pain. 1 dies. 1 more scout dead. Just the sergeant left alive. Las cannon. Yep, from Valkyrie.
No.
Misses. Flashes over his head as he ducks. Yep, and now the Lehman Russ firing in at that scout. He's going to be a very bit dead scout. And because it moved and it was hitting on 5s with its side guns and 4s on the main turret, only 1 hit. And I saved it. And the las cannon, what'd you get? Hits with the las cannon. I was going to narrate saying you did nothing. Oh, you didn't wound and you have got no command points. The Lehman Russ whiffs all the shot. And he's got objective secured, and he's holding on to that objective. And I don't think you can take that off me. There's no other shots around here that can see that scout. He stands firm, he stands resolute, or rather he digs himself in a hole and hides. So it's going to be all about clearing these guys off of this objective here. And you've got a lot of gun.
Got started really.
So everything from that is heavy, it's wounded, everything will hit on 6s, firing in at this guy. Everyone from the inside first. Okay. Harker did 2 wounds. And they do 2 damage each. And 2 scouts die. So I'm going to pull these guys away. And you can't see anymore. You can't see anymore. So Shadow Sword and this thing trying to kill all my scouts. Everything from the Shadow Sword going into the scouts, because then the Basilisk, assuming he kills them, the Basilisk and the Manticore could try and take out Sagan Mir. He is in range of Yarrick to re-roll 1, so 18 heavy bolter
shoot the
shots.
las cannons at the guy, the main guy.
You can't, he's a character.
Oh yeah, I've got to kill him now.
You've got to kill these first.
Right.
So,
everyone's
4s to hit, 5s to hit because they're heavy and you moved, re-rolling 1s. And there's a few 1s for you to re-roll. And that was a really bad roll. Only 5 hits, wounded on 3s. And all 5 wound, minus 1 AP because they're heavy bolters. I saved 2. 6 ups. Save another one. And I'm going to take this guy from the back because I want to keep Sagan Mir surrounded. You've got las cannons, you've got the big gun. 2 las cannons, 5s to hit, 1 hit. No wound, your las cannons are missing. Volcano gun, 2 shots, hitting on 4s, 5s, and that misses. So this thing just whizzes over the head.
4 shooting. Can I shoot this?
Yep. And that misses. Misses. Shots firing wide. Basilisk coming down on them. 4 shots with the Basilisk. Hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1s because the Master of Ordnance is still there.
Hey.
That's a wound. 5 up. And that's a 6 up. It does D3 damage. If you roll a 1, I might roll some 6s. 6 up, feel no pains. No. 1 more dies. And that was that. And the Manticore and the Basilisk firing. Can the heavy bolter see from the Basilisk?
I don't think he's in range.
Let's check the range. Yep, you're in range, you're touching him. He stayed still, 4s to hit. Rerolling 1, strangely enough. 3s to wound. 5 up. 6 up.
Hey.
They live. These scouts are made of tough stuff. I think you fired everything.
That's it.
I think you fired everything. I still hold on to this objective. And we're going on to the 13th, turn 6. Only I've got a leadership test to make. Leadership test, and I lost 5. 5 plus 5. My leadership is 7. Let's re-roll with them. They shall know no fear. 1 plus 5. They hold. And over here, the sergeant stood alone. Leadership 7. And he holds as well. Don't really need to move. Not doing any psychic powers. Don't want to perils myself to death. Making sure that Sagan Mir is safe. Don't really need to move here. With objective secured, Defenders of Humanity, I am controlling that objective. Don't want to move these guys because they can go forward or back if need be if we go to turn 7. Do want to kill that Hellhound. So let's fire. Las cannons. 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s. 1 hit. 3s to wound. Re-rolling 1s. That's a wound. A 6 up save. Which you fail. D6 damage. 1 damage. It's unkillable. It's got 4 left. 2 more las cannons. Firing in. 2 hits. Come on. 1 more wound. 1 6 up save. 4 wounds left. D6 damage. 6. Hey. It's dead. Does it blow up? And kill my scout? No!
D3 mortal wounds.
No! No! What has happened?
That was bad.
That's the end of my turn 6, and on a 1, 2, 3 this game ends, and I've got 1 command point, and all of a sudden I need it to go on, and I need Alex to have another really bad shooting phase. Come on, let's hang in there. We go on to turn 7. Right, so it's all very simple. The Valkyrie stands still so it can fire all its weapons at full ballistic skill, and the Lehman Russ is climbing through the wreckage of the Hellhound and securing this objective here. No point in moving that because it won't be able to shoot. It won't be able to draw a line of sight to anything in turn 7. Now this thing had a really bad turn of shooting in turn 6, the Shadow Sword. But it stayed still. So it'll be hitting on 4s now. And Yarrick is there, giving it reroll to hit. And there's a Basilisk. And he can charge with this thing and try and contest the objective. Can't get it within 3 in the movement phase. He's going to have to charge in and potentially contest that one. And potentially score every single objective on the table except this one in the crater here. So let's go on to the shooting phase. So interrupting the shooting phase, the Valkyrie and the Lehman Russ fired everything they could into this Razorback. It only took 3 or 4 wounds off of it. Basically, it made a lot of 6-up saves. It's alive. He's contesting that objective or controlling that objective, but the castle back here, what little of it remains, is still alive. Now we're coming over here, and it's all about killing these scouts. So what's starting off, Alex?
Heavy bolters.
Heavy bolters, 18 heavy bolters from the Shadow Sword. Hitting on 4s because it stays still this time. Re-rolling those 1s. I think you might be a bit more effective. Basically everything from the Shadow Sword into the scouts, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to. Because it's the closest thing.
That was 4s.
And you really, really need to kill them. I'm going to go ground. 3s to wound. Okay. How many scouts do I have? I have 5 scouts left. 5 up saves.
Nice.
I made 3. 3 6-up iron hands. Only 2 die. Beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. Keep the sergeant alive, obviously. So, las cannons. Both miss. Volcano cannon, D6 shots. 4. See if you can melt them to slag. 4s to hit. 1s, that's a wound, and it does.
That was a Yarrick reroll.
That was a Yarrick reroll. That was the wound. Well, that's to hit then if that's a Yarrick reroll.
No, so that was the reroll. It was
yeah,
the one.
And then that's the wound.
That was the only one that hit.
Okay.
So that was the wound.
I don't get any thingy bob. You do 2d6 damage. If you roll snake eyes, I'm going to roll my double 6s.
Yeah.
I'm not going to roll my double 6s. I just picked one up. That did 11 damage.
Ouch.
Right. So heavy bolter on that.
Yeah, got you.
5s to hit.
No.
Nothing.
Basilisk.
And there's 2 scouts left.
It's got to be the Basilisk.
And then you're going to charge and try and contest. Basilisk firing in, 2d3 shots. 6 shots. Hitting on 4s. Re-rolling 1s. Re-rolling those 1s, that's 2 hits. 3 hits. 2s to wound. And I get a 6-up save. And D3 damage.
3 6s.
1 more dies. You see, the leadership test, the morale phase could kill me. But at the moment, if you charge in, I outnumber you. And I have a scout left. And you've got that heavy bolter that you like. You can't see. You can't see. You can't see. So that's all your guns.
Shooting down. I'm
So
going to have to charge that scout.
You're going to have to charge that scout. So I will overwatch with a grenade, which misses. And then you're within 3 inches, so you're in. And then charging units go first. 3 attacks, hitting on 6s. No. And that would have been wounding on 3s. My sergeant can strike back. He hits on 3s. He'll wound on 5s. Does a wound, you get a 3-up save. And you save it. And I control that objective. Yeah?
Yeah.
And that's the end of your turn. And you control 1, 2 objectives. And Linebreaker and First Blood. And I've got 1. Yeah? So we go on to Space Marine's turn 7. He can stay there because he's controlling that.
Doesn't he have to do morale?
Yeah. Sergeant. Sergeant.
4.
-4 morale. Hold in there, brother. 2 + 4 is 6. I hold morale. Thank you for reminding me. That was critical. So all I need to do to win this game is take that objective off you. Because that will give me 2 objectives, 6 points. And you'll have 1 + Linebreaker + First Blood. That should be 5 points. So move these 3 guys to one side. Put that there. And that there. And then this is the way the world ends. In the end, Brother Captain Solgaro does enough to hold up this guard force, to hold back these traitors, to take hold of these key objectives before calling in for evac and calling in from reinforcements from the battle barge up ahead. I nearly had 1 of these, but 2 of them are a great force multiplier, I think, because even if I took out 1, this one was untouched, this Stormlord on Shadow Sword, sorry, on all of its wounds still remaining. In the end, It turned out to be Sagan Mir saving me an objective and having a couple of things left. A cheeky win, a close win by 1 point. You've got more assets left on the table. I thought I was winning that game. I thought when the Terminators landed here and started pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing you back, I thought that was going to go and a few other things were going to go and then the Guard were going to crumble. And I thought wrong. I was hoping that your bad shooting would remain. I was hoping that Alex's bad shooting would continue to miss or continue not to wound, but he had just one good turn where he wiped out those Terminators and took them out utterly, and suddenly I was on the back foot. But on this battlefield, heroes were born. I managed to stand my ground, or heroes were made. Sagan Mir essentially won this game for me, because if that scout had died, that scout won this game for me, because if that scout had died, this would have been a contested objective, and the Guard would have won. It was that close. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Thanks for watching, and happy wargaming.